So what is up guys, my name is Fraze and today I'll be going over the perfect Fortnite configurations. I'll be going over the settings, the sensitivity, the resolution, everything that you could ask for if you're going for the streaming aspect or if you're just going for being a better player and if you just want the best performance and getting a smooth gameplay and experience. Let's get straight into the video and I hope you guys enjoy. So the very first thing you want to do is to open up Fortnite and hit Battle Royale. Then you would want to go up and find the cogwheel and go into settings. The very first thing that we're going to do is go onto the video settings. And for window mode, you obviously want to go with full screen. That's something you always want to do. And the resolution should just be set to the aspect ratio of your monitor. But most of you guys have 1920 by 1080. And the frame rate unit is kind of weird in this game. If you have it on unlimited, it might make you lag a little bit more because I think Fortnite wants it to be more consistent. So you should choose a set FPS and you can just go around with it and see how your computer are doing, because I do not know if you have a high-end computer or just an average one. The very next line is quality, which is just set quality settings like presets, so you do not want to touch that whatsoever. You want to go into 3D resolution and put it on 100%. Then off to view distance. Here you should go with far or even epic, but I prefer to go with far because epic is not necessary. For shadow, you should definitely have it on off, no matter if you have the best computer in the world, for aesthetics and also for just performance. So next up we got anti-aliasing, which is a pretty weird one because this can help you a lot with performance, but I choose to go with it on high. But if you really care about your performance and even if you're streaming or just want very good FPS, you can put it all the way to off. This is going to make the game look a little weird because it's going to make it look a little blurry, but if you're cool with that, you're going to get a much better performance out of the game. And for the three last ones, I went with low on all three, and the reason for that is the textures, when I put it on low, I didn't really see any difference, and same with the effects, and you're gonna get really used to it. And with these settings, I feel like I'm playing on ultra. I gotta be honest, it's something weird about this preset that I made, but it works great, so that's all we want. And I'm not gonna talk a lot about post-processing, but this should be off at all times. It doesn't matter what you're going for, this should always be off. The same thing goes with VSync and motion blur. This should always be off because it looks awful and it's gonna do a lot of bad to your gameplay and just the aesthetics of it. Even if you don't care about it, motion blur does not look good for anyone, so that's what you get when you're playing console. So up next on the next page is the mouse sensitivity. I went on to a 0.05 because I come from CSGO, which I used to play on a very low sensitivity, and 0.05 is even my upped sensitivity because when I was fresh to Fortnite I played at even lower sensitivity. And anything under mouse sensitivity I kept on default because it felt pretty good and natural. Onto camera and display, you have streamer mode and HUD scale that you should care about. HUD scale you can put on 0.9, this is only personal preference, doesn't really matter that much, just what you're liking. And streamer mode can go on to on or off, depends if you are a streamer or don't want to see any names. So onto the next tab you have brightness calibration. This should be left to whatever your liking is. If you want it to be darker, go for it. Might give you a little bit of a disadvantage, I doubt it though, but you can increase it a little bit if you don't like the contrast of the game. So this is also personal preference like most of the settings are. So I thought I could go over some of the keybinds that I have and some recommendations for everyone watching the video. So as it starts off, I pretty much have everything on default, like my moving around and jumping and so on, but I haven't set my auto run on, but this should be keybinded because it's pretty chill if you want to go around. But if you care about your competitive play, you should never really just run a straight line without jumping or moving a little bit around, because people who are good with a sniper rifle or just want to shoot you in the head are easily gonna kill you. And onto the harvesting tool, I have mine set to C because you can see that I have my weapon slot 1 to 4, because I feel like if you use 1 for your harvesting tool, you are wasting one of the easier ones to click. So 1 is very simple for your pump shotgun or your AR. For me it's an AR. You can keep 5 as default, but I find X to be very easy to hit. I might actually switch it up and put it on 5 again because 5 is not that bad of a keybind, so you should not worry about it. On X or 5 for you, I mostly have my healing and so on because I don't really need to hit it as fast. So further down we have my building keybinds, which is wall, floor, stairs, roof and traps and so on. And you should ignore the trap one because you should always use T for all of your traps, launch pads and so on. So the first button you see on screen is the one that I use for my walls, and the second one is the one that I use for ramps. So I find these two buttons to be very easy, but I do think of changing it because I feel like Q is a very good keybind for one of these and I don't use it at the moment. So for roofs I actually have it on default, which is F4. I don't usually like the F keys at all, but I find this one to be not as necessary as a lot of the other ones. I just kept it as it is, and roofs are actually more useful than a lot of people think because you can get a double roof on top of you when someone is shooting down on you. So for the switch quick bar, this one is really not necessary at all, so you should just unbind it and use Q to something useful. I still haven't done this, which is pretty weird, but that is because I like the keybinds that I already have. But Q is a very simple one that I've already talked about that you should be using right now. So one last thing that I want to be talking about is the toggle map options. You should never use M for map. You should always use tab, which is so much better for using the map and a lot easier to hit with your fingers. If you don't do it right now, just get used to it. You'll thank me later. Now on to digital vibrance. This is rarely talked about in the Fortnite community, and I think a lot of people don't think about it as necessary, but this is something I find to be very crucial. One, for its amazing looks, but also just for seeing people, seeing different things. The stronger colors makes it very easy to tell if it's a person or an object. So I would highly recommend you to up this to at least 80 or even 90%, or even go like me onto a 100%. So there we have it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you liked it and hit subscribe if you really liked it. If there's anything you're wondering, please leave a comment down below and let me know. If there's something hard to understand, just ask away. So we just hit 1.8k subscribers. We're getting so close to 2k. That's gonna be amazing. I hope to see you guys in the future, and as always, have a good one.